Hello everybody and welcome back to Total War Warhammer. I am Resonant and today I'll be doing my first Total War Warhammer multiplayer online battle. Today will be a replay of a battle I fought the other day with my friend, and it doesn't go out quite the way I hoped it to, but this battle was a really fun battle actually, and I want to show off the cool orcs and the dwarves for you guys. So, the battle goes like this. On my side, I have my frontline unit of Orc Boys. Now, Orc Boys aren't very good units. They're actually pretty terrible melee units, but they're an alright front defense just to hold people back and keep people trenched down while you're getting around the sides with your other units. So, I've got 6 units of them. They're fairly upgraded. I think they've all got 1 silver chevron each. Oh, one has 2. But probably getting this many Orc Boys was probably a mistake on my part, but as you can see, they look awesome. And I do have a camera scrolling in mod, otherwise you can't normally go that low down. But yeah, so I have my front line of Orc Boys, and now I have some skirmishers at the front. I have 3 units of Savage Orc Archer Boys, and these guys look epic. These guys are probably, I think they're the best skirmish units for the Orcs. These guys are fairly well upgraded actually, and they do a fair bit of damage to the dwarves, as you'll see later on. I have 2 units of Black Orcs, as you can see at the back. Now, these are elite Orc units. They look badass with their armor and their massive axes, and these guys deal a lot of damage. There is a problem later on in the battle you will see with these guys, but that was just my mistake, and James is over there. James has good tactician skills. He kind of gets rid of these guys pretty early on. But here I have 1 unit of artillery. These are the Doom Diver catapults, and I basically just got these for the laugh because they are so cool. As you can see, they've got little orc Gretchens or goblins on them, and they fire them, and they've got little wingsuits, and they catapult into the air. They are so cool. You will see them in action in a bit. And back here I have my Orc Warlord. He's not the strongest Orc commander you can get, but he's pretty good. I mean, he looks pretty badass with all that shields and that armor and that massive axe. And I have my Goblin Shaman, which has spells and stuff like that. And of course, we cannot forget the giant here. This giant is pretty devastating in the later game. You can see him crashing through enemies. And of course, we have the Arachnarok Spider. Both of these are fully upgraded with 3 gold chevrons each. That was probably a little bit of a waste. I probably should have put them on the other units. But, of course, this is my first online battle, so please don't be too harsh to me, please. I'm still getting used to all the mechanics and how stuff works. And then hidden in the forest down here, we have 4 units of Orc Biguns. So these are pretty decent infantry. They're not quite as good as the Black Orcs, but they're a lot better than the Orc Boys. And as you can see, they have got a lot of armor and they look pretty badass. I think I've got 4 units. I've either got 4 or 3. I think I might have 3 actually. No, I've got 4 units of them. So let's go and have a look at James's Dwarven army. So we're going to just play it while I do this because it takes me a while for me to get over here. But James has 2 miners over here. These have blasting charges. They have like satchel charges that they throw at you and they explode. They're pretty cool. He's got some hammers here, which are really heavy infantry, which is good for taking out my guys. Now, at the front here, he has 4 units of Ironbreakers. These are the elite Dwarven infantry. Have we seen how much armor they have? That is just mental. They look pretty badass as well. So they are going to be trying defending this hill over here. Now, he also has 4 units. No, that's 5 units of... No, 4 units of Thunderers, my bad. And he has 1 unit, again, of Hammerers. So these Thunderers are really good skirmish units. They've got massive guns and they fire down upon the enemy. He has a unit of Gyrocopters, or 2 Gyrocopters here. So these guys drop bombs on the enemies. These only really come into action in the later game when James discovers how to use them properly. And this was the first online battle for both of us, I think. So James has also got a Master Engineer as his commander. And this guy is pretty effective with these cannons here, which he uses to good use. Now, I'm pretty sure that's most of James's army summed up there. So, let's get on to the battle. So, at the moment, I see James is on top of that hill. He sees I'm on top of this hill. So, I move over here, trying to taunt him to come down and come up my side. But we find out that that doesn't work in the end. But as you can see, my guys are running across now. And I'm going to try and get some cool cinematic shots in here for you guys. Look at that. So my guys are forming up here. My Orc Boys, they may not be extremely powerful, but they look extremely awesome. And as you can see, there's a lot of variation on them, like different types of armor. Even some of the faces are different. But I think that's a really good change that they did from Rome 2, where they said there's going to be a lot of difference in the faces and the characters, but there wasn't a whole lot of difference in each unit. But here, as you can see, there's a big difference. Now, these are my archers forming up here. They're all cheering. Orcs are better in melee, so I need to try and get into melee as soon as possible if I want a chance of winning. And I am moving my, I think these are my black orcs over to this wing. As you can see here, oh my god, these guys, they're so cool. They work so well. I mean, they're really accurate, but they're just fun to watch. I mean, that's probably my favourite unit in the game at the moment. But James does not want to come off that hill. We were on Skype in this yeah. So he was saying, come on, just come and charge me. He says, I'm orcs, I might as well. That probably didn't go too well for me. But so I am running down the hill with my orc boys. And because they're orc boys, they don't get tired very quickly. So I can run pretty well at the moment. And as you can see, there's just a massive swarm. And I think this is when James starts firing his cannons. I'm not completely sure. Let's have a look. Oh, yep, he is firing his cannons at the moment. And the sounds of the cannonballs is so cool. And they are crashing into the back of my orc boys. I'm not too worried about that. As you can see, I have a massive swarm of them. So I am not too worried about that. But if we can hear these guys fire, you will hear how amazing the cannons sound in this game. As you can see, the orcs are crashing down the hill. Getting into position. I'm going to try and position myself in the river and then go up the side. Here come the archers running past and also running through the camera. This close-up camera mod is really good if you want to film cinematics and that kind of stuff, and it is good for getting nice close-ups on the action. I think these miners here are actually weaker melee infantry, but they have the satchel charges which can do a lot of damage to massive forces. And as you can see, James has some type of wizardry on his cannons, which I don't like. Oh, I forgot to mention James's Slayers here. I don't know if I could see them before, but he has 2 units of Slayers because Slayers are good for taking out things such as big monsters like this. And as I was Orcs, he knew I was going to get monsters, so he decided to get a couple of units of Slayers. So I am moving my black orcs over, and have I moved out my big guns yet? No, they are still in the forest at the moment. I think I keep them in there for a little while, just so I can get James distracted over this side before I can move them up into here. And it looks like James is putting more spells on his guys. Oh, this is his warlord. That master engineer, I think, was just a hero. That is so cool. This big fat guy is just getting carried by other dwarves. How cool is that? So I'm getting formed up. James is twisting his army to face my army. And what I'm thinking at the moment is wherever he puts these slayers, I need to try and get my giants and my spider on the other side, because they're going to do a lot of damage to him. So I'm kind of watching where he's putting them and putting them on the opposite sides, just so I can try and get around them. And it sort of works out for me later on, but we will see. Now, have my guys started firing yet? I think they are slowly moving up. I do fire them soon though, I think. And yeah, they do actually a fair bit of damage, and you can control them yourself. If you go into the insert or the model unit camera mode, you can control these guys yourself, which is actually really cool, even though I'm terrible at aiming, so it wasn't the most effective thing in the world. So James is positioning on the side of this hill. He's got his miners on the left, he's got his slayer boys on the right, and he's got his gyrocopters flanking the tops of them. You can see my army down there forming up. And can you hear the cannons firing? They are firing down on my black orcs. These are my elite orc infantry. I did not notice him firing at them earlier, but when I found out that these guys had lost a ton of men, I was a bit annoyed. Yeah, these guys are really elite infantry, but I could just see my guys firing. Look, 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 look. There they go. There they go. They're jumping on, they're hopping on, they're firing themselves. Here they go. You can hear them screaming as they go through the sky. Whoa! This is probably my favourite unit in the whole game. It is so cool. You'll see them crash into the sides of the men. Oh! They do a lot of damage, as you can see. Here they come, flying in. Oh my word. They are so cool. Let me just see if we can get a cool screenshot of that. There we go, paused it right at that moment. My God. I feel like this is going to be the thumbnail. Jesus. Look at him, though. Look at them fly. And go. They go so fast. And they do a fair bit of damage, actually. I mean, we killed quite a lot of those heavily armored units with those shots. And that was fairly impressive and obviously extremely amusing to watch. So I am forming up now. Getting my guys into position. This unit has taken a lot of casualties, which I didn't notice until later in the game, until it was a bit too late. But we should be okay at the moment. And I'm forming up my orc boys on the front line with the archers just in front. And as I said before, his slayers are on this side, so I am actually moving my monsters to the left side, just so I can get out of his way, so I can do my own damage without his slayers being in the way. You can see his gyrocopters up there, looking fairly menacing, and he's moving his troops up to try and meet mine. How about, do I move my guys up yet? I don't know. No, not quite yet. I think I will move these guys up soon. But I think I start to go up the hill before I do that. And yes, he is moving around this side of the hill. That's probably when I start to move up my biggins. Here come the battle-hardened dwarf fighters. The thunderers and the artillerymen. So, it seems like I am getting into position and then I am going to move up. I'm moving my Black Orcs up a little bit, just so I can get them on the flanks and maybe get round. But he is firing cannonballs into the front of my archers. I'm not too bothered about the archers. They're not my most valuable unit, so he can fire at them as much as possible. But the charge has been given, and up the hill my orcs go. Look at this horde. The greenskins are probably my favourite faction at the moment, just because how they look. And they are really good. And here come my monsters coming up into the battle. My giant and my spider with the little goblin sitting on top of him. Look at them go. So I kind of see if I can get some good fire from down here with my archers. I don't know if they're in range yet, but they are cheering. They are ready to get into battle, and the gyrocopters are coming forward. And they seem to be shooting at my men. Here we go. My archers are firing into the gyrocopters. Not that it seems to be doing a ton of damage, but look at that. Archers and arrows are bumping off, and the gyrocopters are firing backwards. My spider is up on the left. He wants to get around and do some damage, and the goblins on top have started to fire with their little bows. Here we go. Gyrocopter number 1 has been taken down by my archers. So the second gyrocopter, James pulls him back. He doesn't want him to get into the battle just yet. And my guys are starting to move up into these woods now, and I don't think James has noticed them just yet. Here come my spider. He's getting fired up by the satchel charges of those miners, but he is going into the battle. He is taking out them. Look at the explosions. Look at the devastation that is causing, and the charge has been given. In come my orc boys. Oh, and the spider comes down for a massive spike. Here we go. Here comes the giant as well. My guys coming up the sides. This is amazing. And the charge is going in. Here come the orc boys into the dwarves. Pushing them back, but the iron breakers stand strong. Can they defend from the dwarven horde? Not the dwarven horde, the orcish horde that is coming towards them. I bring up some more dwarf orc boys onto the left flank to try and support my spider, but my spider seems to be doing pretty okay for himself. Look at him spiking into the dwarfs, taking them out. There is not much they can do, and here comes the giant. Can he get some good swings onto these hammers? These hammers are very big infantry, and there we go, but he hit some of his own guys. Oh dear. So, and now I start to bring up the big guns. James is not ready for this. I bring them up on the flanks, and James has nothing to counterattack them, except from this gyrocopter here, which is still getting shot at by some arrows. But here they come, nonetheless, into the flanks of the slayers and the miners. As you can see, they are swiping. Look at those little miners down there trying to defend from the orc boys. Here we go. Oh, and that miner is taken down. The archers are firing in. They're firing in from the top. See what damage they can do. And I bring in my first spell by my goblin shaman. Magic missile it is. And it takes out quite a number of them. Here is James's warlord. He's coming in with his little dwarves on there. He's trying to do as much damage as possible, but he is surrounded. But never fear, James has some more troops back here. Some thunderers trying to shoot. And I bring up my black orcs. They are taking out James's artillery and coming in on the backs of James's men. You see them crashing through that giant, making dwarves fly to the left and to the right. Where is my goblin shaman then? Here he is. He's coming up now. He's moving up with the archers, seeing what damage he can do. My spider is still active. It's still trying to take out as many slayers as it can, but it is being surrounded. And it will not last for much longer if it can't get out of there. The goblin shaman trying to do as much as possible to take out these men. My orcs are swarming down the backs of his dwarves, but it seems like the dwarves have pretty much taken care of the orc boys on the front. And my spider starts to run away. It is running from the battle. It has had enough and needs to get out of there. My giant is still fighting strong though, seeing if we can take out as many dwarves as possible, swiping in, doing as much damage as it possibly can. But my spider comes back from the battle, and it needs to get back in there to help out its orcish allies. So it seems like we pretty much got that left flank sorted out with these orc big guns, but it doesn't look like the middle is going too well for me at the moment. I should have probably brought around these orc big guns to face these guys on that side, but at the moment these iron breakers are too strong for me to break through. Seems like my orc archers are retreating along with some orc boys. My orc giant is trying to do its best to take out this small unit of dwarves. The giant seems like it needs to burp, and it burped all over those dwarves, and they went flying. But the spider is on fire. Oh no, the spider is running away again. It is getting out of there. It doesn't want anything to do with it. And here come the goblins flying in on their catapults. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is going absolutely crazy right now. So it seems like the battle is pretty much going the way of James at the moment. It is pretty even, but it's slightly going James's way at the moment. Not looking too good for me. His gyrocopter is still firing. It's still trying to get as many hits in there as possible. He hasn't used the bombs on the bottom of the gyrocopter yet, which is probably not too good, since if he could use them, he would be able to use them to his advantage and take out a number of my guys at the moment, especially this big blob here. But he seems to just be firing the machine gun into the back of them at the moment. And I forgot about these guys, so they're just standing there while my men are being wrecked up here by these dwarves. There's not much I can actually do at this point, except from that massive artillery shot coming in from my slingshot goblins. And here comes James with his gyrocopter. What kind of damage can he do? He's starting to drop the bombs from his gyrocopter. Here we go. Bombs are being dropped on top of my men. Explosions going on everywhere. Seems like my giant has been downed. Where is my spider? Is my spider dead as well? I don't know. It looks like they're all dying. But here's James's chieftain coming down, chasing off my men. Can he catch up with them, with those little dwarves with their little legs? I don't know. But I start to move up my chieftain, I remember. Here he comes, trying to take out as many dwarves as possible. But it doesn't last very long. The archer's shooting into here. You can see the arrows sticking into the dwarf hammers here. You can see the goblins flying overhead. Seems like my men are starting to run away. They've had enough of the battle, and the dwarves fight to live another day. Here comes the gyrocopter to take out the last few of my archers. Here he comes, dropping bombs on top of them. My archers are trying desperately to take out as many dwarves as possible before they retreat. But it is no use. And that is the end of the battle. So I lost 847 men. James lost 715 men. That was a good game to James. I really enjoyed that as my first battle. I'm definitely going to be using the green skins again. Probably to more avail next time because I didn't do too well. But I'm getting used to how the units work and how they fight. So maybe next time we will do better. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like. If you didn't, remember to leave a dislike. And subscribe to the channel for more Warhammer content and other games such as that. And I will see you guys in the next video.